welcome back. If you tuned in late, we're talking about put down the guns now, young people. And Jack Logan is here. He's the founder and also Pastor Calvin Murphy. And I'm glad to have both of you. Now, you go out into the community. You don't just preach about this. You do something. Amen. And here you have these gun locks, and you give them out. Now, you were out walking around yesterday in Greenville.
Yes. Yes, and on yesterday, all the regular people who helped me, they all were working, and one of them had death in the family, so I went into a local restaurant and asked some young guys to go help me. And they said, okay, Mr. Jack. So we went down walking in the it was hot yesterday.
Well, these were the McDonald's or something, and they just went with you.
Right, and they went, and they saw how it was done, and at the end, after doing all that work in the sun, they said, Mr. Jack, we enjoyed doing this, so we want to do it again. And I had to go to Columbia last night to do something else. They was willing to ride to Columbia, but they told me from now on just to call them. And that taught me then that there's people out here, like Mr. Murray was just saying to me, they want to help, but they got to be asked. And that's what I plan to do, even in the bigger cities, as far as Chicago. Reach out and ask people to help, because you get those people involved, then other people will join as well, wanting to help. And to see them young men doing something positive, as even they stated, you know, that meant a lot to me.
That's beautiful, yeah. So now what do you need? What are the needs? We're here. We're not in Chicago.
Okay.
And I know they've got a lot of problems in Chicago, but we have them here too. In South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, right here in the Southeast. And we sort of think, oh, this is such a wonderful, peaceful, beautiful place to live, and thank God it is. But there's another side to that coin, and people like you are trying to make it positive.
Right. People think Greenville is safe. Now, I spoke highly of Sheriff Lewis, but there's that old man named Satan over there at any time may strike.
Well, we can't expect our law enforcement people to be on every street corner 24 hours a day.
That's exactly right. And we need people to do just what we're doing daily, and they should be doing it anyway. Mr. Murray and I talk about this all the time. Churches, church-going people, I don't care what religion you are, you should be out doing. I love to give Jehovah's Witnesses credit. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, but when I'm on my way to work, I see them out early in the morning handing out pamphlets. That's all it takes, from Baptists, Catholics, Presbyterian, whatever religious faith is, spread that word, and that would make that little child and change the generation, and as well it may help some older person who just needs that loving or getting to know Jesus.
We have many people who have guns in their home, and it isn't illegal.
Right.
Our government, our Constitution gives us the right to have a gun and defend ourselves. But if you have a gun, you also need a gun lock.
That's exactly
and you
right.
need to protect your other people in your family, not just have a gun lying around.
And let me say this quickly. People who drink alcohol that have guns, I advise them to put a gun lock on their gun, because people, and the reason why I say that, because they may get hot-headed and may go pull the trigger quick, and then the next day when they wake up in some local detention center, they realize they didn't mean to do it. But that alcohol or that dope triggered them to do it. And they had a gun lock on it, there may be some hesitation before they get the lock off. And I see a lot of adults involved.
Do
in that.
we have a big problem in this area?
One of the ways to solve problems that we do have is we should reference the Lord on a daily basis. Everything begins and ends with Him. And this is what I'm saying. On a daily basis, we should pray and ask God to lead, guide, and direct our path as we leave the security of our home, because we don't know what we're going to encounter.
No.
Now, with the grown people, they are the ones that have their hands on the children in order to indoctrinate them on the way that they should go. Now, what do I mean? You have some children who defiantly say, that's my room, don't go into my room. Well, wait a minute, you ain't paying no bills here, you don't have no room. What you doing is you using some of the facilities that I've worked hard to pay for. Okay, I commend this man the other day that turned his daughter in because his daughter had contemplated going out and to shoot up the school. So he called the local authorities and they arrested her for it. So if you...
They arrested her before she actually committed the crime.
The father turned her in. And I know that had to be an agonizing moment for him, but because he did that, no telling how many lives that he saved. But what I'm saying is when these children, some children actually run their households because they're afraid, the parents are afraid of them. But what we have to do is to take back what belongs to us. And how we do that? Well, we ask the Lord to correct wrong. And once we do that, we'll see the evidence of improvements in the way that this society is going.
Jack, do you go into neighborhoods, schools? I know you walk around a lot. I know you do. What actually do you do?
We go into neighborhoods. We go into schools when asked.
Yeah.
And we host educational events, in different community centers and libraries as well. And that's basically what we do. We try to teach gun safety, and we try to educate. We talk about want kids to get education, and again, knowing that Bible.
So you actually feel that there's a lack of education with people have a gun, but they don't have the knowledge.
And I learned that yesterday in upscale subdivisions. You expect that from the poorest areas, but when I go into upscale subdivisions and I get that, that's shocking. And I made Chief Miller and some of them aware of that we can't just ignore a rich area, because when you look at statistics, most kids who's been killed accidental by touching guns has come from the rich environment.
So there really isn't any safe place.
Right, and even with gun violence, especially down in Anderson County, when you look at you do have a lot of poor areas where gun violence occurs, but you have a lot of people who live in some nice places in Anderson who's been killed or killing each other, family members, or domestic violence, that type thing.
And it seems to be growing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what about your Put Down the Guns Now young people? Is it an organization that somebody can join, or what do you need, Jack?
After yesterday, we welcome all people. When those young men did what they did yesterday, we need more people on the streets as soldiers. We need that. That's what we need to be in the face of people, young people, and it's people in general, because it don't take but a split second for someone to pick up a gun and injure someone with it.
Now, so what exactly does somebody do to help you with this Put Down the Guns Now?
All they have to do is call.
We have the phone number.
864-303-1030. And we're willing to take anyone. From this show, there's a lot of people have called, willing to help. And those people who are not able to walk, you have a telephone at home, you have a computer. The same way with social media, you put anything out, you're welcome to put anything out to educate people about gun safety, staying away from gun violence, and getting to know Jesus.
Okay. So anybody can become, and you don't have to, it isn't like an organization that you pay money to join and all. That's what I want people to understand.
No, it's absolutely free. No, this is about doing the work of God.
Amen.
So you need people to get out there and pound the pavement.
Pound the pavement.
Say, okay, Jack Logan, I'll give so many hours.
Right.
What do? You give these to these people?
Right.
And they go into a neighborhood and ring the doorbell?
Right. And they ask the person if they have a gun.
And they ask them, do you own a gun?
Right.
Do you have a gun?
Right. And some people say, well, I don't have a small child. I give it to them anyway, and I tell them if they know any young couple or a parent that have a small child, pass it on to them.
Okay, so that's what you do. You go in a neighborhood, ring the doorbell, and what is the response? Have you had people resent this and get angry with you?
No, because I take the time. Some people I take the time to explain just what we're doing, and it's always been positive.
And where do you get these?
Well,
gun
we
locks?
get most of them from law enforcement as well as pawn shops. Gun owners, gun shops give them to us.
Oh,
because
really?
they are concerned about safety of children. It's not that, no, the gun stores helps us with gun locks.
Okay.
Yeah, they give us more than law enforcement.
But anyone who has a gun ought to have
A
a
gun
gun
lock.
and you keep it locked.
Right. Now, with the new guns, the newest ones, they come with a combination.
Okay.
Yeah, but everyone should have a gun lock.
We have to recognize that all of us is in this battle together with this gun violence. Even if you live in what you would deem a secure area, well, if you wait long enough, it's going to reach your area. So what we need to do is to take preventative measures to keep it from progressing to one area. You know, look at it like cancer. If you don't, once you recognize there is cancer, then what you do is to try to find preventative measures from keeping the cancer from spreading. That's one of the things that we're concerned about with gun violence, is for us to educate the adults. The children don't automatically know. It starts with the adults and then circulated downward in order to teach children, you know, the safeguards with guns. Because once again, there was a young lady that shot herself a couple of weeks ago because she wasn't taught the proper way to use a gun. So if you're gonna have guns around, people in rural areas and et cetera, you know, have sporting events with guns. But you need to know the proper way to handle a gun, and then when not in usage, the proper way to secure the gun.
So when it isn't being used,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
want to store it properly so
Amen.
that some child can't come along and pick it up and pull the trigger
Yeah,
and
with
there's
safeguards on it.
disaster.
Amen.
Yeah. So how do you, we have a phone number, 864-303-1030. If somebody wants more information about put down the guns now, young people, or you want to get involved, that's the number to call. And Jack, you've done a tremendous amount of work in this, and I know you're heading to Chicago again. You go to Chicago quite a bit for problems to learn how to.
Well, no, I'm not going to learn. I'm going to end it. I want to end gun violence in Chicago.
Okay.
That's my
Okay.
goal.
So
because
okay.
there's too many people have been killed, and too many mothers has been in pain,
All
and
right.
too many victims. And I'm like President Trump. It can be ended.
It can be ended, but each one of us needs to do our part. And if you have a gun, you're not breaking the law, but get a gun lock.
That's right.
And be sure it is on there.
That's right.
And protect your family and your children and anybody else who comes around, right?
That's right.
Thank you so much. Bless you for all the good that you're trying to do in this troubled world.
Amen.
And wherever you are, we wish you safety. And we'll see you next time.